Konnichiwa Mina, this is T Sakura, and this is part 2 to the top 10 creature feature films that I really enjoy. And as a heads up reminder, basically the rules are they have to be animals or alien animals, and it can't be anything I've used before. So moving on to number 6, going to another one of my personal favorites from Ray Kellogg, sorry, is going to be The Giant Gila Monster. This movie was from June 25th, 1959, and not only was it a great movie and how they, what if Gila Monster was, 50 feet long and that, but it has good music in it too. Definitely wasn't in that time because they used a lot of teenagers in this movie, and if you're going to make it into a teenager film with teenagers, you have to have at least one person who is aiming to become a singer for the radio and become famous. Why not have him actually sing some music that the teenagers back then would actually appreciate and would actually want to hear on the radio? That's what he did in this movie. Simple effects, use miniatures, have a normal size Gila Monster right there, use a blue screen when he has to be around the humans, but when it came down to it, very clever idea. They took a while to introduce everything. They did just right how a creature feature should be, to where most of the movie is just you always watching them trying to figure out what's going on and why. Really enjoyed that, and I've just always enjoyed watching this one. It's been one of my favorites since I saw it first, way back in the day. I think the first time I ever saw this one was when I was like 5 years old, and it was just like, sweet. And I just fell in love with that movie right then. So it's definitely one of his better ones, and that's why another one of his movies made my list, is because I enjoy how he does his movies. Alright, number 5. This one's one I ran into on the net. This is actually an internet movie. It's called Furfangs by Andre Rika. It was done in 2010. And basically you just need to, I'll make sure to put a link down to his site where you can actually watch it. It is a movie that was actually based off of the Critters movies, but his own take on, what happens if these aliens will come from outer space, land, and attack him. What would one man do to help save the Earth from little Furfangs that are trying to kill him and then take over the Earth? For an internet movie, he did a really good job. The humor in there was perfect, I thought, and even though he doesn't say much in the movie, I think it was very well done and a very good tribute to the Critters movies. So, for anybody who's actually seen this movie, or who hasn't, definitely go watch it again or watch it for the first time. Really enjoyed what he did with it, and when you guys see it, you'll see exactly why I enjoy it, because it's just being a fantastic movie of what they've been doing. What he did for it, based off of a really good movie. Moving on to number 4, which makes sense, is Critters. Now, no offense to Andre and the Furfang fans, it's just Critters 1 is definitely one of my all-time favorite creature features, because of it being just makes you laugh the entire time, and I really enjoy how they did it. That movie was released in April 11, 1986. That was directed by Steven Herrick. And what can I say about this movie? You have this extremely dangerous species of aliens escape from, an intergalactic gel, rush all the way to Earth, and then they start feeding. Unfortunately for them, the bounty hunters come after them, and they also land near a house of farmers that just ain't gonna put up with that crap. So, just all kinds of things happen to there where you just kind of like, you just chuckle a lot during that movie because there's a lot of humor put into that, and the critters alone were very well developed. Obviously hand puppets, but very well done to where they have 4 movies, with only the first 2, in my opinion, being worth watching. The last 2, especially the last one, definitely killed the series. But really good. I've always enjoyed it, and definitely one of those would have to do review of it, just because there's so much to talk about it. I don't have enough time to really go any further into that movie. Going on to number 3, is one of my favorite movies from the 1950s when it comes to creatures, and that is Teenagers from Outer Space. That was released in June of 1959, and that was directed by Tom Gareth. I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry if I mispronounce names. Now, first of all, a lot of people think, well, it wasn't that considered an aliens movie. You know, you have aliens come from outer space and they're teenagers who are just, coming to Earth. Well, in that movie, they release a creature which happens to be a lobster that walks on its tail. They like literally hold like this at the camera as they walk towards the camera too. It makes me laugh every time I see that monster, but because of how they introduced that monster and did a fun job of it, it became one of my it became my 3rd favorite monster just to have in a movie because of it was just silly. But the story alone is what captured me in this movie. I have always enjoyed this one after I saw it. I was happy to get a hold of it on DVD. And it's just a movie that has a great storyline about, you have one of the teenagers who is like, no, we can't release this thing on their planet. It could kill all the intelligent life here. We can't do that. And then he has to then learn how to live as an Earthling, and hopefully he stopped the invasion, and it just goes from there. And it was just a very well developed storyline, I thought, and with one of the silliest ideas for monsters ever. Let's just grab a lobster, hold him like this while he's alive, and then we'll add some screaming noise that makes no sense for a lobster, and it's like this at the camera, and then have people all of a sudden start dying around him. Yeah, it was that type of thing to where it was just a ball. So that's why I really enjoyed that one. And this is going to be the end of part 2 of Top 10. I just like to have a lot more time for the last 2 that I have coming, just because there's so much to talk about. So once again, I hope you guys have enjoyed at least part 2 with those next in my top 10 list. Check out the next video to see the next 2, because I'm going to try and talk about why and why I'm taking so much time for that one. So this is D Sakura saying ciao, and hopefully you like the next video.